Alright, so anyone who's watching this might notice we got a little bit of a different opening screen at the moment because I'm using a different program. I have been working since yesterday and a lot of today to try and get this layout fixed so that I can figure out how to get a nice looking professional Pokemon Nuzlocke. One of the biggest aspects of like streaming and YouTube is Pokemon YouTubers. So they do have a distinctive look to them, and Nuzlocke challenges are pretty important and stuff like that. So I'm trying to figure out how to do all this. So hopefully we're going to get this to work. I'm kind of working. I'm between my laptop and my other monitor so I can see what actually is happening. I wish I could see it better. I really don't like... I'm using Streamlabs desktop. I don't particularly care for it. I feel like everything I need to actually see is way too small to actually see from... I'm just 3 feet away. I don't know how people can do this on the fly. But, chat disappears so fast. So right now I'm going to just try and mess around with the chat box for now. Okay. So right now we're kind of just getting ready to go. So I'm just kind of wait for some people to show up. Audio and visual seems to be going fine. So this is going to be recorded off my laptop. I'll get into that in a little bit in a minute. Right now I'm messing with the controls. Make sure that we have everything the way it needs to be. Okay. I know the chat box goes way beyond the side of where the little chat thingy is, and I don't know where that is. So, yeah, we're gonna kind of try and figure out how this goes. Might not be easy to see chat. I can see it. Other people might not be able to see it, and that's just how we're gonna have to roll with this. So I did make a custom overlay for the Pokemon playthrough of this. However, in order to do that, since I will be using, this is actually the first time on stream since we started this new channel, we're going to be using an emulator. And the largest reason why we're doing that is because I have this one tool I found that is going to be really helpful for tracking my team and my Pokemon as I go along. So I'm looking forward to using that. It looks pretty cool. I just hopped into Photoshop for the first time in literal years. And maybe a year and a half, to be honest. Since I switched over to Clip Studio, but to actually put some of my graphic design skills to use and make a Pokemon overlay. Looks pretty nice, if I do say so myself. And so I'll be switching over to that in a minute or two. But just to kind of get started here, there's a few things we're going to go over first before we get started with this challenge. Namely, I'm going to be taking a look at... I'm going to be going over exactly... I wish I had a nice little bullet point system to go through here, but I'll just have to read it off of my document. Every time I've done a lot of Nuzlocke challenges in the past, I usually write down them and make them into stories or characters or something else later on. But it's important to establish what exactly our Nuzlocke rules are starting out. So I'm going to write those down in a separate document. If I can figure out how to window share, I might window share so you guys can see it. I'm kind of doing this a little bit on the fly. So I was really just concerned to gain the Nuzlocke aspect of this going so that could work. And we're really hoping that's going to work. Because I've not done something like this before. At least not in this kind of official capacity and with this new software tool I found. So it's really the main reason I'm using Streamlabs right now instead of Prism. I just like the layout of Prism a little bit better. But we're going to figure this out. So this will, I'll be doing this off my computer because I need to use an emulator in order to do it. And my screen just completely bugged out there for a moment. I don't know why. Man, this is not easy to navigate. But so if I'm ever looking off to the sides, because I'm trying to see on my monitor that is not close to my face. So let's see. Where's the? Nope, that's not it. Let me get my document up, and then I'll see about sharing it so you guys can see it. So, how's everyone else doing tonight? So I try and get my, let's see, I'll go and see what rules I had in my last one. Okay, let me see where my last Nuzlocke is, and I'll see what rules I used for that. I did, in the past, my first Nuzlocke I ever did, was Pokemon Heart Gold. And that was fun. Fairly easy, good amount of challenge, but not too crazy. I then tried a Pokemon Black Nuzlocke, which is what we're going to be doing for the upcoming series. And I tried it with a little harder rules, and it was much more challenging. I don't know if I'm going to do those same rules again now or not, but I'm open to letting chat get some buy-in on what sort of rules we're going to go at. I'll just pull up my where is it? I'll pull up my Nuzlocke rules I had from back then, and we can decide on which ones I'm going to use. I want to make this, I'm not going to do any sort of fancy things here. Like, I've done type locks in the past, which are ones that are like, you only use a certain type of Pokemon. I've done ones called like Apocalypse, where you can, the types that you're allowed to use is based on the roll of a dice and such like that. For those who aren't aware of, yeah, I remember, yeah, me being the researcher person, I made a whole big document for a friend once who was starting with Nuzlocke. So, let's see what we got here. Clause, dupes clause, gift clause. Let's see if I can share my screen. Isn't this fun? Okay. Let me see if I can start another. Let's see if I can add. Okay, do a browser. Window capture. Okay, let's try this. Okay. I look like I'm really concentrating off to the sides because I'm trying to get this working on the other side before I make it live so people can see. And then we'll go on determine the rules we're going to use for this challenge and go from there. The other thing I just don't like around Streamlabs is that when you can zoom in and out to some extent on Prism, so you can kind of tell when things are going off the edges. It's kind of hard to see that on Streamlabs, I'm not gonna lie. Okay. Pull that off to the side a little bit. Okay, it's not perfect, but it's functional. And hopefully you guys can see it okay. Trying to zoom in a little bit so it's a little bit more visible, but also so it's not in the way of my camera. Okay, so we're going to go through the basics of a Nuzlocke, and then we're going to determine, I'll open up another document to determine what rules we're going to go with for this particular run. Okay. Oh, so I'm looking at my old documents. I actually did a Pokemon White Nuzlocke before. So actually I haven't done a Pokemon Black Nuzlocke, so that's nice. At least we're going to be doing something a little different. Okay, let's see here. So, new document. We're going to go and do... I'll share my screen in a second here. Let's see, Pokemon Black Nuzlocke. Okay, so for the uninitiated, I could go into the history of Nuzlocks and stuff like that, because I do know that much. But, okay, again, whenever I switch over, by the way, to another screen, let me know if you can't hear me anymore. I don't know sometimes. Let's see. Kiroro VGC. Hello, welcome to the stream. We're getting ready to establish a Nuzlocke, so right now we're just kind of nailing down the rules. I'm going to be doing a Pokemon Black Nuzlocke tonight, or at least starting one. Welcome to Cozy Gamers. So for those who are uninitiated, the Pokemon Nuzlocke challenge, I believe it originally came about around Gen 3. It was originally crafted in a Ruby and Sapphire playthrough, if I remember correctly. The person who originally made it had this idea of doing a challenge run, like a permadeath challenge run. Because, Pokemon games, they are, we know that even though we play them as adults, they are generally meant for kids. So he did, I believe it was he, did a challenge run with the idea that you nickname your Pokemon, and then if they faint, they die. And he made this whole like a little webtoon webcomic. And the reason they are called Nuzlocks is that he had a Nuzleaf as one of his Pokemon, whose name was Nuzlocke. I think it was like a fan favorite character or something to that extent. And it died, I think, over the course of the run, and for some reason the name Nuzlocke stuck. So Pokemon Nuzlocks are called that. But the basics of Pokemon Nuzlocke, which we're going to take a look at right here. There are 3 core rules to Pokemon Nuzlocke for those who don't know. So when you can only catch the first Pokemon that you encounter in any given area. So that means the first Pokemon in a route, or a cave, or whatever. So, if generally the way I run it is that, like, if you have a location that has multiple floors, like a tower or something, it's whichever you encounter first in the area. So you can't catch a new encounter on every floor. That's how I do it, at least. Let's see. It's a little bit by ear, though, because some areas can be, like, counted as the same areas, but, like, I have a note here that's, like, in Pinwheel Forest, there is, like, it's a large area that can kind of be broken into multiple areas, and it also kind of depends on, like, the case, like, if you're playing something like Sword and Shield or Scarlet and Violet, obviously, the whole route area thing is a little different, so you change as needed. The other thing is that every Pokemon you catch has to be given a unique nickname with the idea of bonding with it and growing an emotional attachment. Obviously, so it hurts all the more that if your Pokemon faints, they are considered dead and you either must release them or box them. I box my Pokemon personally because I like going at the end of the run and seeing what my graveyard box looks like, seeing how many deaths I have. This is the honestly the best and worst part of the run, is that at any given time, your Pokemon can faint. Like, you can be there are all different levels of how to do a challenge run. There's obviously a lot of different excess rules. We're going to decide on a couple of them right now. But that's the thing that's the hardest sometimes, is that you can be the most strategic person in the world. You can know all the things, but you'll never be able to predict a critical hit. Sometimes the computer AI will just act in a strange way. Like, all sorts of things can happen to kill your Pokemon. And so it's fun to kind of be challenged like that. So here's a couple of different clauses that are added to a Nuzlocke run typically. So those 3 rules are essentially the basics of a Nuzlocke. You know that, you can do it. So these are a couple different clauses, which I will, some of these I will use and some of them I won't use. For instance, one that I started using recently is the dupes clause, which essentially, if you encounter a Pokemon that you already own, then you can catch it again. Then you can't catch it again. So, like, if I ran into a Pidgey on Route 1, and then in Route 2 I ran into a Pidgey again, I would re-roll the encounter for the route, so that I don't have to get Pidgey, like, several times. Some people use this clause, some people don't. I tend to use it. I'm going to use it for this run in particular because Pokemon Black and White has a regional dex. It means that only Pokemon from Unova exist in it. This means I'm going to run into some repeats. So I'm probably going to use the dupes clause on this one. I don't use it for evolutionary lines, so like if I could catch a Pidove, but I could also catch a Tranquil if I found one in another route. But generally, I would not catch 2 different Pidoves. The main reason I do this is so that, like, I don't have multiples of the same Pokemon. So if I get a Pidove and my Pidove dies, I can't just go and catch a brand new Pidove on another route. I've already used that particular species. I can't use it anymore. That's just a personal me thing. The gift clause, which is essentially like any in-game trades or gift Pokemon trump the usual catch rules. So, that means that, like, if I have my counter for the route, but then I have a gift Pokemon, I'm allowed to add that to my team. If there for some reason there's like an option of getting multiple gifts per area, then obviously one gift per area, but that very rarely happens. So, and also like things like in-game trades is like in order to get an in-game trade, it has to be with Pokemon I don't own. Then obviously I'm not doing that in-game trade. No trading. Yeah, I don't really use trade clause because I don't trade often. I'm not. There's no EXP share, so I'm not gonna be using the EXP share clause. I don't have it listed here, but I'm gonna be using the shiny clause. This is also kind of an auto rule a lot of people use. If you find a shiny encounter, since shinies are like a 1 in like 4,000 chance, you can catch it. Assuming you can catch it, obviously. You knock it out, then it's just gone. But if you happen to catch something on your like second encounter and it's a shiny, you can catch it. That's the way I did it. I got a shiny Bidoof one run that way. Here are the ones that are kind of into question here, and I'll look to the chat for a recommendations to whether I should do this or not. So my first white playthrough, I used Healing Claws, which meant that I could not use healing items. I can only heal at the Pokemon centers. Some people, will do this to add a little bit more difficulty. I did this my first time playing through a white version. It made it incredibly difficult, but I'm not. It's a little scary of a thing to add, but I'm not against using it. So we like to do Healing Claws. I'll do Healing Claws. Training Claws doesn't apply here. And then the other one is level caps, which means that you can't level your Pokemon higher than the next boss of the area. So if the next gym leader has like a max of level 25, then you can't have any Pokemon that are above level 25. I'm not going to use this just because it takes a lot of like... I'm going to do this as a casual Nuzlocke run. It takes a bit of numbers grinding and paying attention to things. I could do it. I'm not going to. Another one you can use is like when I did, like, for instance, in my poison type lock, you can have like, you can only use as many Pokemon as the gym leader has. So if they have 2 Pokemon, you're only allowed to bring 2 Pokemon with you. I don't think I'm going to do this. I remember my white Nuzlocke just being pretty difficult, actually. So I'm not going to use a lot of things. But I'll leave it up to chat. Should I use Healing Claws? I'm willing to try it because I did do it once before and I never finished it. So I'd be willing to try it again. So for right now, we're just doing the basic Nuzlocke rules. Got Dupes Claws, got Gift Claws, Shiny Claws, and then I'm going to... Let's see. Do I want to? Because it does make the game significantly more difficult. Well, I'll leave that up for some debate as I think about it. So, or should I just people are leaving funny things in my chat. Anyway, so I'll leave that kind of up for that. So we're gonna switch over to my other screen for now. So I get my game booted up here. Okay, Pokemon Black version. Okay, give me a second to make sure the sound is working. I've been running a lot of things today, so my computer's running a little slow, and I'm hoping it's still going to be able to handle all this. Come on. Anyway, so, I'm also down for, like, the Pokemon I get when I nickname them. I'm between whether, like, chat names them, or if I'm going to go through, like, what I found a lot of fun doing lately is having all my Pokemon have a certain theme. Like, I've seen someone before do, like, all Marvel, like, hero names. I've done it before when, like, they're all named after characters from, like, one of my favorite games, like a Fire Emblem game. Come on. I know you're really chugging right now. That's the other thing that's going to be kind of a questionable thing today, is I'm doing this from my personal laptop, which hypothetically should be just as powerful as the one we used to stream on. I'm hoping it can handle it. Really hoping it can handle it. But we're gonna see. So, sorry if my thing went away there for a moment there. I'm trying to check my windows. Let's go back to... I'm going to go back to this cam for now. While I mess with things in the background. Okay, really just right now we're waiting for my emulator to boot up. Again, we're going to be doing a lot of test running today because I'm doing this on something I've not done before, and we're really going to hope my computer can handle it. And then we're not going to get really bad quality because of it. Okay, we're going to close that. Closing down any unnecessary Pokemon programs I have right now. Okay, let's try this again. Come on. You can do it. Okay. I think we got it. Just let me know if you can hear it. I put the volume down a little bit so it doesn't hopefully overpower the audio. But let me know if you can hear the game's audio as well. So here's our little... Okay. Give me a second, I gotta fix the web camera real fast. But what do you think of this little overlay I made? I made this in Photoshop. There we go. There's the webcam. Awesome. So, what do you think my little overlay I made? I made this in Photoshop today. It took a couple hours too. So, as you see kind of here, we got, we'll have the badges along the left-hand side to keep track of them as we go through and beat them. The Pokeballs at the bottom will fill up as we get more Pokemon in the team. And, got our death counter in the bottom corner. So, let's start the game. I paused it, but let's start the game. So, here we are, Pokemon Black version. Running probably a little slow just because. Okay. Looks like the full desktop audio, so it's running high. I also definitely give me feedback on what the audio sounds like because I can't hear it from my end. So if anything sounds too loud or too soft or you can't hear it at all, please tell me. So I can tell. Anyway, so now we're watching the I'm trying to listen through this on my computer, but also gosh, where my headphones are. So here we are, Black and White. Here's the beginning of Black and White. We have like this little cutscene here, and this is kind of something that's most special about Black and White as a version, is that this game was kind of trying to soft reboot the series at the time. It was trying a lot more deeper storytelling, a lot different world building, a brand new sort of art style. Like, so here we are, we're seeing, I mean, look at these graphics, these visuals right now. You would think we're watching a JRPG or something like that. Not a Pokemon game. This isn't the same game as like Red and Blue where you're just fighting your rival because they're a jerk. Like, this looks like something big and important here. This cutscene is going to be our major antagonist for the game. Oops. Dreams. Pokemon Black version. So HD Heavy. Large one's going to be the main screen, top one will be the bottom screen. how the audio sounds. It's probably going to be a little weird just because I'm playing on something that's on my emulator and my computer's kind of chugging right now. If it gets distracting, then I will obviously turn this down a little because that looks like that's a little too loud. I'll try and edit it on the fly, but just let me know how it sounds. It's going to sound a little chunky in places just because my computer's doing a lot right now in order to try and run all these programs at once. So I'm really putting my laptop through the paces right now. So let's see, new game. Okay, welcome to the world of Pokemon. I'm not going to read most of the text, but in this case I will. I'm just going to kind of summarize it. I'm sure you can read. Professor Juniper. Everyone calls it the Pokemon Professor. I love that every Pokemon Professor in every game is like, oh, I'm the Pokemon Professor. You know. She's interesting just because she is the first time, again, like I said, Pokemon Black and White was trying to reboot the franchise in some ways. She's the first female Pokemon Professor we have. And I think she's actually the last one, too. At least the last, like, official one in this capacity with, like, you know, the lab coat and the introductory thing and stuff like that. This is also, you can see with this little Mencino in the bottom corner, this is when they, like, the Pokemon sprites were, like, fully animated sprite work. I really wish they would have stuck with this style. Instead of going full 3D, I'm not gonna lie. Are you a boy or are you a girl? I'm a girl. This is also, as you can tell, the first time Pokemon gave us player characters that look older than 10. I think canonically, the player characters are supposed to be 16 or 17? Anyway, we're gonna go with, I'm gonna use my, online username Dusk. It usually is good in a pinch. Okay. That's good. And here's the other thing, is that normally you name your rival. So Black and White was the first one that not only gave you more than one rival, they also gave you, they were pre-made. Like, they actually had character, they actually have names already, you can't just put whatever, like, some people will put, like, you know, dumb names on them, like, you know, just kind of for the meme of it. Black and White meant to tell a story. It's the first Pokemon game that tries to do that genuinely. And that starts with the fact that, like, you know, so we have Sharon here, be a little difficult, but he's a very honest person, so he is the representation of Black version. Obviously, his name means black, and he's honest. He represents truth. That's what Pokemon Black is. Reshiram is of black, and it's the truth Pokemon. We have Bianca, which means white. She's a little flighty, but works very hard, so she represents ideals, which is what Zekrom represents in Pokemon White version. And I'm in the middle. We have potential, so you're gonna give us a Pokemon. Yay. It's like the little animation, the little sprite works. I still think well-made sprite work kind of trumps 3D animation in a lot of cases, at least as far as the Pokemon Company is concerned. Obviously in different games, that's a different story, but in the Pokemon Company's case, I don't think their visuals have ever been as good as the sprite days. Game Freak presents A Little Tiny Town, Pokemon Black version. Oh, also another thing, I don't officially count my Nuzlocke run as starting until I have Pokeballs, because I can't catch anything until that point, so I don't really count it as starting until I get to that point. Everything up until then is kind of scripted tutorials, so there's not really a whole lot to do anyway. Amy Dusk, I've heard from Professor that we can have a Pokemon. Yes indeed, Sharon. I like that. Look at the little animations of him just tapping his foot. You can already get the vibe of, like, you know, threes are friends, she's the late one. Anyway, now we're gonna get Pokemon. The question is, which one am I gonna get? I'll admit, out of all the starter trios, I like the first forms of all the starters in Unova. Their final forms are not anything really to write home about. So, open the gift box. Let's see what we're gonna get here. We'll see if my little programming thing is working. I brought three Pokemon, one for each of you, one for each of your friends. Sell your choices politely. Yeah, we just start like knocking each other out, trying to get to like one particular Pokemon. So here's our three options here. We have Tepig, Snivy, and Oshawott. So I've played through with each of these before. I think my first playthrough I did Snivy. But I've got Tepig and we got Oshawott. So who do I want to get here? So I know there's always, in most games, there's usually plentiful grass and water types. Fire usually is a strong start to do, although I think Fire would probably be I'm gonna guess Tepig's probably gonna be our best choice here. I personally like Superior the most out of the four of them if I had to choose between like the three of them, but then again, when I played through White version the first time, my starter didn't even make it to the first town. He died to a critical hit by it, so I mean, you never know how long these are gonna last. But I think between the three of them, because Snivy is a fine attacker, but grass types typically have a shallow move pool. It's fast, but water types are usually pretty good against everything, and it can give you some like surf support. But there usually is a lot of water types in the game. Fire types are usually more scarce. There are a decent amount of fire types in this game, but I think we're gonna go with Tepig. Fire types are usually a solid bet because fire is usually effective at a lot of early game things are usually bug and grass type, so I know the first gym is whatever you're weak to, and then there's a normal type gym, and then there's a bug type gym. So we're gonna go with the fire starter. So right now we're just gonna kind of just rush through a little bit to get through the tutorial stuff, because I'm not gonna count my run as starting until I can nickname my Tepig, which won't be until a little bit later. So right now we're just gonna get started. And I kind of missed these little versus screens things. They don't really do them in the modern games since they got to 3D animations. Okay, pig. I got mail. I'm curious. What? Let's see what we got here. This is a... I was curious. I can't see its nature from here. I was wondering, in later games you can see its nature, so we're gonna go through this pretty quickly if we can. Sorry if I randomly lose frames and quality and stuff like that. My deepest apologies, this starts as randomly doing that at times. There we go. Make sure, and now you see the little bottom of our little overlay here, and now it shows my Tepig at the bottom corner. Nice. So a little close for comfort on the HP there, but I'm not gonna really count it. Even if we had a death here, I wouldn't really count it until we get to, again, the point where I can nickname my Pokemon, is where I consider the run really starting. So right now we're just gonna try and just speed run through this. responsible one has healed our Pokemon up, and now I'm gonna battle him. I also like that it says something about the characters too, that like Bianca being the less experienced battler, and just kind of wanting the Pokemon for companionship, took the one that's weak to your starter because she doesn't really understand type matchups, but naturally, Sharon, who's been studying Pokemon most of his life, up until this point, takes the one that's strong against yours because he knows that strategy. I mean, come on, he's got like a blazer and glasses, clearly he's a nerd. Okay, let's try Tailwind first this time. Hopefully, so this goes a little faster, maybe. But anyway, as long as I'm doing this tutorial stuff, start thinking. Otherwise, I'll just figure out how to I will figure out a naming convention myself. But like, start thinking of potential names for our little Tepig here. He is a boy. So I'll take whatever chat comes up with. Otherwise, I will probably just name them all after some other character. What would be a good naming convention to do? Admittedly, the only games that are on my mind right now are like Genshin Impact and Star Rail, so I can name all my Pokemon after those sort of characters, but I wonder if that would be too cringy. I'd love to just take whatever, like, chat wants to name them, but if not, then I will maybe, figure out some sort of naming convention. What else? I can name them after Pokemon. I can name them after Fire Emblem games. What would be a good naming pattern? Do I get the running shoes yet? I haven't played Black in so long, that's why I chose to. Well, I did. They voted on in our Cozy Gamer Discord. This version was voted on. But I was in the mood to replay Unova because honestly, Unova is a really good region, and it kind of sucks that at the time people were really quite harsh to this game just because it looked a little different than the previous versions. So they were a lot more harsh in this game than they really had any right to be. But let's go check out. Gotta follow Bianca, see what she's up to. But I kind of just missed Unova. Unova's a great region. Definitely has to, probably my favorite one to travel through besides like Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Those are my favorite games to play because you can't beat your Pokemon falling behind you. I love having the little sprites fall behind you. That's definitely has to be the best. But if we're not counting Heart Gold and Soul Silver because it's a remake, this would definitely be my favorite region just in general. Unova's really cool. I like that it's like has this whole like strong theming. Oh, so yeah. Bianca's dad's mad at her, or something. My daughter who knows nothing about the world, going on a journey with Pokemon? Wow, first of all, a rarity for Pokemon. One, we have a dad, because apparently all the dads just disappear in Pokemon. And two, he's not gonna just let his, child run off with a Pokemon into the dark and dangerous world. The funny thing is that, like, we're confirmed teenagers in this game, at least. Like, every other game is like, here, yeah, let my 10-year-old go take this thing that can spit fire and go take down an evil organization. You know? No way that can end poorly. Alright. I'm thinking for Tepig, yeah, so she's introducing herself as Professor Juniper. She's gonna let us nickname our Pokemon, and then that's when the run will officially start. And we're gonna get the Pokedex. I'm trying to think of what names I want to do. I'm thinking between, like, something, because he's a pig, so maybe something, like, pig-related. Like, I don't know, like Bacon, or Hamilton, or Hammy, or something like that. Look for any suggestions they want to put in the chat. Otherwise, I'm probably just gonna go with Hamilton. I think it's kind of... Or Hamlet. That would also be funny. Hamlet. Do I have enough room for Hamilton? I feel like if I name him Hamilton, though, I have to name the rest of them after founding fathers, too. Here, Hamilton. I think that's how you pronounce it. That's how you spell Hamilton, right? Hamilton. Yeah, that's fine. He's pronounced, yes. So now our run's officially started as we have our little Tepig Hamilton. Sorry, I'm going through my chat. But that would just really make my thing chug. Pokedex, yes, sure. You little know-it-all. I don't know, is it Sharon or Charon, like hard CH or soft CH? Some people pronounce it like a totally different way. It's kind of like the, you know, the Ferryman of the Dead has like a name that's spelled like that and it's pronounced like 4 different ways. So we're getting the Pokedex and we're gonna go on an adventure. And definitely nothing else dangerous or life-threatening will happen along the way. Got the little Pokedex. It looks like a little mobile phone. That's the other thing is that... So, Unova is based off of America. This was the first time... Unova was the first time... I like how Bianca's like, I just want to explore and go on an adventure because I don't know what to do with my life. And I'm like, that is so relatable. I know what we want to do. And so she's like, I'm just going to go out and figure out what I want. And Sharon's like, I just want to become a battler. I want to explore, you know, stuff like that. But Unova was the first region to not be based off of somewhere in Japan. That's why it's based off of America. In particular, it's based off of New York. There's a couple cities that are like very, very based off of New York City, but it's you know, America, namely New York, but so that there's a lot of, this is definitely one of the most advanced regions of the Pokemon canon, have the most amount of like industrial infrastructure, and that's why a lot of the things that you have, like, you know, your Poketech, your Pokedex, and stuff like that, have a very high-tech vibe to them, as opposed to having like this sort of older, traditional feeling. Yeah, my mom's like, thanks for totally destroying your room, but I'll take care of it. Now get out of the house. Again, I like how she's just like, go become great adults. I'm like, how long do you think I'm being away? I like that she's like, I'm expecting you to leave and never come back for like another 2 years. Like... Pokemon World must be interesting, because I'm like, do they have college or high school or anything like that? Or is it just, oh, you're 10 years old, take a Pokemon. Head on out. But yeah, now we have to do the sentimental thing where we're all the best friends and we have to hold hands and take our first step together. Onwards to adventure. That's another thing that was, like, you can kind of see in this game in particular. First of all, we do have the day and night cycle. So we're getting close to nighttime here. For this. The only reason it's not nighttime is because, like, I think I need to, like... You see we have the petals floating in the air. This was the first, and I think only game that actually had, seasons. The seasons would change depending on the internal clock of your DS system, and there are a handful of Pokemon that will change forms depending on which season it is, as well as certain Pokemon will show up in certain locations depending on what time of year it is. There's even certain locations that might be inaccessible, like some areas might be filled up with snow, so you can't get to them in the winter, but then in the spring you might be able to get to those locations because the snow's melting. I'm talking over this because all she's doing is the tutorial stuff. She's going to teach you how to catch Pokemon. Wild Parrot. She got Mincino. Their Japanese name is Chilarmy. And I called them that for the longest time because I remember when Pokemon Black and White were first coming out, that was the first, like, I came in technically, I've been watching Pokemon for a while, but I started playing the games technically during the 4th generation, at the end of the 4th generation. So when Pokemon Black and White were coming out, that was the first game where I actually, like, watched for leaks, like new released Pokemon, Core magazine obviously was a big place where you learned a lot of that stuff in Japanese, and so, like, when new Pokemon were released, I learned their Japanese names first. So, like, Mincino's Japanese name was Chilari. So, that is what I called it for a while. And even now, it still kind of feels weird to call it Mincino, but that is what it is. Yeah. In the early areas of the game, Pokemon are fairly easy to catch because they're assuming you're inexperienced and you don't know what you're doing, so you usually don't have to even get your Pokemon's HP that low. Some people who do speed runs just, like, throw Pokeballs and just, you know, wait for the catch and move from there. Okay. So, let's see what we got here. Pokemon jump out at you in tall grass, yeah. Imagine you can never go out in tall grass. How many people are just stuck in their hometowns because they have no Pokemon to defend themselves? Imagine how, like, kind of terrifying that is in a way. So we're going to Cumula Town next. And yes, we will need to get more Pokeballs. So Bianca's thinking of this idea of Sharon's a little impatient. Bianca's a little bit more slow. It's like, so we're gonna have a Pokemon catching contest. If whoever has the most Pokemon is the winner. And I'm obviously going to lose this contest because I'm going to catch the first thing I find on this route and then not catch anything else, because that's how the run goes. Yeah. So let's see what we can catch for our first encounter. I think there's like 2 different Pokemon you can run into a first encounter, so let's see what we get. There's a Patrat. That's what I assumed. And it's a girl. Cool. Alright, so let's get its HP down. What shall we name you? Hamilton. Football. We got Patrat. A female Patrat. What should we name her? Well, how about since we named my star Patrat, we'll name we named our star Hamilton. We'll name my Patrat Eliza. Go back real fast to heal so my Patrat can be healed so I can start using it immediately. Oh, Hamilton. I do appreciate how in, like, later generations they added it. Like, right now, you only get experience, if you defeat a Pokemon in battle. In later generations, they added in that when you catch a Pokemon, you also get experience, so even if, you know, you don't end the experience with a capture necessarily, it's they can still get some experience out of it. I do prefer that, although at the same time I also things like the EXP share make the game a little too easy sometimes, so I also don't have the running shoes yet, which is kind of makes me just so slow. But anyway, we're gonna heal and then we'll head on to the next town. I think the next town is when I get the running shoes. Hey Mom, I'm back. Alright, everyone's healed up and ready to go. Let's get moving. I move so slow without the running shoes. I'm moving. Items up here. Oh, I probably should save, actually. now that I think about it. Alright. I do love all the little flower petals. That's really pretty. I'm just curious if we're gonna run anything different here. No, just another pet rat. It's fine. Go Hamilton. We got the move Ember, but if I remember correctly, I think like Tepig has better attack than it does special attack, so Ember's not going to do a lot of damage as much as like a tackle would. Actually, now that I'm out of combat, let me see, what sort of natures are we working with here? So you are a Jolly nature. Well, that's pretty good. I believe Jolly's, well, yeah, minus special attack plus speed, but we don't need to use special attack. We can use attack. Because Tepig will eventually evolve into a fighting type, so that's fine. Extra speed doesn't hurt. And Eliza is relaxed, so plus defense minus speed, which is, again, you don't really ever want a non-speed nature unless you're talking about something really bulky, so, but, yeah, that's fine. Could be worse. And there's my friends. Oh cool, Lillipup. That would have been a nice encounter to have, but oh well. Can't catch it. I'm worried on my encounter range now. It would be nice to have a lift up there. Hopefully move a little bit faster once we get out of the, like, all the tutorials of the early game area. Oh, sorry, I thought I didn't, yeah, I think yes in order to keep going. Extrinsic receiver is ringing. I got a phone watch, by the way. That's how we're talking to each other. We're in a video chat on a phone. This was considered advanced at the time before like Google Watches and stuff existed. Yep, now we're gonna get taught on how to use Pokemon Centers. Sooner the better. Alright. Standard stuff, Pokemon Centers where you can be healed. And it's absolutely free. There is free healthcare in Pokemon. Isn't that wonderful? Sorry, I was bad mashing the A button. I didn't have the right person. Yep, here, take my Pokemon, even though they're perfectly healed because I didn't really take any damage on the way over. NPCs will restore Pokemon. Those who are less familiar with it, Pokemon allows you to have 6 Pokemon in a party. Anything else will go into the box. And someone who made the Pokemon system is someone I'll surely meet one day. Eventually, I think she gives me an Eevee, so obviously we'll go and try and find her for that reason. Also, was this the first game that decided to put the Pokemon Mart? Yeah, I think this was the first game that decided to have the Pokemon Centers have the Pokemon Marts in the same building. They used to be 2 separate buildings, and then you just only use them whenever you really needed them, but to go find a woman named Fennel in another town, but we'll worry about that later. So let's see. Pokeballs. What can I do? It's always better to buy 10 Pokeballs if you can, because then you get a free Premier Ball, so you actually get 11. That should be good enough for now. Do I get the running shoes soon? Oh no, this is where we see Team Plasma's first demonstration, I think. I will go there in a minute. Right now, I wanted to go down and investigate here a minute ago, but I didn't do it yet. I was curious what this building was. Do you believe in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet that they took out this feature? Like the idea that you could like go inside buildings is no longer a thing. In Scarlet and Violet, you can't go inside any buildings, and you can't talk to any NPCs, despite how huge the world is. That's just kind of crazy when you think about it. Anyway, let's head over. We got a protesters demonstration thing to go watch. This is where we see the main morally gray team. It's Pokemon rights activists. Gets us. We're representing Team Plasma. Today, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to talk to you about Pokemon Liberation. So we see a mysterious stranger in the top corner who has a black hat. I wonder who he can be, or if he's important because he doesn't look like any of the other character models. I'm sure most of you believe that we humans and Pokemon are partners that have come to live together because we want and need each other. However, is that really the truth? You ever consider that perhaps we humans only assume this is the truth? Pokemon are subject to the selfless commands of trainers. They get pushed around when they are partners at work. Can anyone say with confidence that there's no truth in what I'm saying? Now this is a really interesting moral question for Pokemon. Like, that's why I think Black and White had some interesting ideas. Like, think about it. Is it, maybe that's true. Ladies and gentlemen, Pokemon are different from humans. They are living beings that contain unknown potential. They are living beings from whom we humans have much to learn. Tell me, what is our responsibility towards these wonderful beings called Pokemon? Like any standard crowd, they are all very easily swayed. That's right, we must liberate the Pokemon, and then and only then will humans and Pokemon truly be equals. Everyone, I end my words here today by imploring you to consider the relationship between people and Pokemon. The correct way to proceed. I sincerely appreciate your attention. Thank you for coming to our TED Talk. I mean, it's an interesting question. That's why actually a lot of people do make like Nuzlocke comics based off of Black and White, because it is the one game that makes you question, like, hey, is it right for us to capture Pokemon and then fight with them? Like, yeah, we might become friends and stuff like that, and some of them keep them for just companionship, but is it right to have Pokemon fight each other? Do they really enjoy doing this? Can anyone really know? Are we the bad guys here? And it's an interesting moral question to ask. Pokemon? It's not possible. And so his idea is like, oh, no Pokemon battles. Who's that random strange guy there? Is that perhaps the #1 voted most favorite character in Pokemon Black and White? For Pokemon just now, it was saying. Like, slow down, you talk too fast. And what's this about Pokemon talking? That's an odd thing to say. But yes, they're talking. Oh, and you two can't hear it either. How sad. My name is N. By the way, it's funny, when N was originally announced and leaked as a character, like, his name was released as N, everyone assumed that was a code name of some sort, and his real name would come out when the game released, and the fact that, like, when the game released, his name was literally N, they're like, oh, alright then. He has a longer name than that, but it's easier just to call him N. We just left our journey. My goal is to become the champion. So you're gonna combine many made Pokemon and Pokeballs for that then. I'm a trainer too, but I can't help wondering, are Pokemon really happy that way? me hear your Pokemon's voice. So, N is unique in the fact that he can talk to Pokemon, which is something that not really anyone else can do. This is because, as you saw in the opening cutscene, he was raised by Pokemon, so he can talk to them. It's not something most people can do. Most people can, like, understand their Pokemon, but not many can, like, actually speak with them. Okay. So good number. Hoping I can get burned with Ember. Good news is Hamilton's pretty quirky, so he can take some good hits here. Not too fragile, at least. I also appreciate Purloin on 4 legs. In later generations, when they did 3D models, they put Purloin on 2 legs, kind of make it like Meowth. Which I honestly don't really care for. I like it better when it's sitting down. He just looks a little more elegant. Never expected Pokemon to say such things. What were they saying, man? As long as Pokemon can find Pokemon, they will never be perfect beings. I will change the world for Pokemon because of my friends. N is such a fascinating character. Strange guy. They're like, okay, he's weird, but moving on. We gotta go face the gym leader. That's going to be a goal for tonight, is to go face the first gym leader and hopefully beat them. N's a fascinating character because he like truly believes in his like views. He has some reasons as to why his views are a little bit more black and white than they should be, pun entirely intended. But he's very interesting because he's so genuine. Like, it's interesting the circumstances on how he gets his views on like why he feels at home more with Pokemon than he does with humans. And I think that's kind of a fascinating thing to have. Okay. Let me check real fast. I want to make sure I didn't miss where you get the running sneakers. So I'm pretty sure I get them in the next town, but I just want to double check. Okay. Because otherwise, I'm just moving so slow and it's driving me nuts. Okay, yeah. I have to keep going. I want to make sure. One time I was playing a playthrough. I think it was in Heart Gold and Soul Silver, and I went for a long time without the running shoes. I'm like, where are they? And I realized there's actually a person you need to talk to in order to get the running shoes, and I just never talked to them. So I played through more than I needed to in order to get the running shoes, and I just did not realize it. And I was just kind of dumb. That's fine. All right, so let's go forward. Striaton City is where we're heading next. There it is. Now I should be getting the running shoes. They have a mom. Good for her age. Kinda looks like my mom. She got a lot longer hair, that's for sure. I like that she calls me when she's like 5 feet away. Get the running shoes. Thank goodness, because walking is so slow. Hold the B button and run to your heart's content. This is one thing I'm kind of glad they phased out in later games. Why do we need a special pair of shoes that allow us to run? That's so weird. Okay, let's see what our encounter is going to be for this round. Again, I'm going to be going with the Dupe's Claws. Just because there's not a very wide roster in Unova. I don't want to just keep running into the same encounter over and over again. Well, let's battle this trainer first, maybe. I'm gonna switch Elias to the front to see if she can get some levels. So obviously she starts getting hurt, then I'll switch her around for Hamilton. But let's see if we get Eliza at the levels. Youngster Jimmy. I knew a Jimmy. He was also a youngster. Oh my gosh, that's level 7. Yeah, we're not having Eliza face that. We're gonna switch that out. But she will die very fast. Well, that hurt. I didn't have enough HP to keep going. Alright. That was fun. I'm guessing I'm gonna have to train Eliza a little bit in the tall grass because I didn't realize she was on her level. But she's level 4 now, so that's good. Okay, we're gonna run back to the Pokemon Center real fast and heal up. My little ponytail that sways in the wind while I'm running. Okay, I love some good sprite art. Anyway. Onwards. I don't think there's anything else interesting to talk about at the moment. These tutorial areas don't really have a lot to do, not a ton of challenge either. It's really just kind of being like, you're very low level, so you're very easy to take out, so it's just kind of being cautious in the beginning, so that you don't get accidentally knocked out, not pushing your luck too far until you get at least to level 10. The red power of a Nuzlocke is always not terribly interesting, because you are just kind of... I'm gonna do something amazing. He just jumps off the ledge. Does he want to battle me? Okay, the guy doesn't want to battle me either. Alright, do you want to battle me? Okay, she does want to battle me. I like Pokemon battles because my Pokemon does it in a really cute way, and like that's probably why you don't win very often. Hey, this might be like a bit of a clunky way to train Pokemon, but before you get the EXP share, it's really the best way to do it. At least in a way that has not a lot of risk. Okay, so I got 2 attack drops, so it's better to just use a fire move at this point. Because that will work with my specialists instead. Alright. Just be careful. Nothing actually getting damage from that, so we're gonna press on. Okay, now we're getting in. Okay, Purloin, we can get Purloin. He's also a female. Hey, Ixie, welcome! We just started, so good time to show up. Okay, we're gonna tackle and see how much damage it does to us. Hopefully it's not too bad. We have a lot of girls in this team. I think I can do another attack. Because this thing's just using her all over it again. I can get one more attack. There we go. Pokeball. Okay, what are we gonna name this one? So far we got Hamilton and Eliza. I feel like I need to name this one also something after like the Schuyler sisters or something like that. I'm thinking maybe Angelica? Perhaps? Angelica or Peggy? To fit in with the Hamilton theme we got going right now. Nice. And there's the Lillipup. I was kind of hoping we were going to run into the Lillipup in this route because Lillipup's a really useful Pokemon. It can be very helpful. In fact, in my first white run, where I lost my starter really early on, my pseudo starter then became my Lillipup that later evolved into a Stoutland, and it was pretty much my like main core of my on my team in my white run, just because all my other Pokemon died because they were fragile. So, kind of hoping to find a Lillipup here. Unfortunately, it wasn't the first encounter, so we're gonna have to just defeat it. But nice. So I'm kind of wish you showed up earlier, but it's fine. I have plenty of opportunities to get a Lillipup later. It's just it's a pretty decently strong normal type. It can take a hit fairly well. It's a pretty reliable Pokemon to use in the range. Unfortunately, I kind of defeated Storm, but I'll get some good experience from it because it's level 7. And now Eliza's level 6. Yay! There we go. Now I have a dark move. And another trainer. And there's another Lillipup. See, this guy has a Lillipup, I don't. Anyway, so not a whole lot has happened yet. We're still kind of in the early tutorial stages of the game. You can see with our little, fun little, sprites at the bottom, which I figured out how to do thanks to some... She's technically high enough level, but I'm going to still switch to Hamilton just to be safe. But you see, thanks to our little sprite coding thing I figured out on the bottom of the screen, that's our team so far. We got 3 Pokemon. Psycho with Septic for the starter. Nothing crazy has happened yet. Kinda just the usuals. Trying to get through the first tutorial area, really. The goal is to try and... Thank you! I made it myself in Photoshop. It took a couple of tries, because, I didn't know the exact dimensions of the DS screen. So... Took a bit of trial and error to figure out that. But, yeah, we have the gym badges on the side that all fill in as we complete them. Good job, Hamilton. And then we got the, Pokemon layout at the bottom, and then the bottom screen is in the top corner. And then we got a little death counter, and, made the little title screen there. I'm pretty proud of it, if I do say so myself. It took me many hours, and is the reason I got very frustrated last night, was I was trying to get it all working, and then I just could not quite get it all working, and so, I'm glad it's all coming together now. Unfortunately, I guess kind of unfortunately, in order to do the coding software thingy, in order to get that, because the cool thing about the thing where the Pokemon are, I'm working through a software thing called Pokelink. And the cool thing is that it actually will change my Pokemon in real time. So like as I change, it will change my Pokemon around. As you can see in there, as I move them around, it changes them around. Which I think is pretty cool. But in order to use that, at least based on the tutorial I watched on how to use the software, they did it through Streamlabs. So I'm right now doing this through Streamlabs on my computer, on my personal laptop. That's why our setup is a little different. And right now we're only streaming on Twitch as opposed to both on Twitch and YouTube. Because I'm using the free version of Streamlabs, and you need the Ultra... Okay, Bianca, what's up? Of course she wants a rifle. Never mind that my Pokemon are kind of weak right now, but it's fine. She only has 2 Pokemon, so they should be fine. Okay, Kling's level 6, so Eliza probably will be fine. Well, I was hoping I was gonna do more. Okay, well, that is not good. I'm gonna tackle again and hope that she doesn't go for another tackle. Or she might. Okay. Well, there's the there's the first death of the run. Great. I love coming into a battle with my Pokemon at half health. That's what I get for not paying. Yep, already, here we go. I'll be really honest, I didn't think she was long for this run anyway. The early game normal types usually do not last very long. So we're gonna hope type effectiveness will pull us through on this one. So I'll have to change the death counter in a minute. Again, if people who do like challenge runs of these will go and like, you know, they'll research it and see where like the rival battles are. Rip Eliza. Yeah, she lasted all of Route 1 and 2. I'm just more annoyed the fact that I just spent like 3 trainer battles leveling her up. That's a waste of experience. Thank you, Bianca, for killing one of my Pokemon. Like, so people who do, like, challenge modes will go and see, like, where all the battles are, where, like, the gym leaders are, where the, rival battles are. I haven't played Black and White in a long time, so... I had a sneaking suspicion there was gonna be a battle here, but I'm like, it's probably fine. I can get to the Pokemon Center. Nope. Turns out I can't. Say, well, we'll go heal the ones we actually have. I'm gonna first put Eliza in our PC. So I need to go make a graveyard anyway. So we're gonna rename this. Actually, I'm gonna because I don't think I actually have enough letter to write graveyard. How about... I can pit boneyard, right? Yeah, we can pit boneyard. Some people release their Pokemon when they die. I like keeping them in another box so I can see how many things die as I go along. So, Eliza, relax, Keen Eye, level 6. Just like that, Hamilton, you've lost your love interest. So now, you're stuck with Angelica. Wait, now I have to level up. Woo! This is kind of very typical, though. I mean, Patrat is not a powerful normal type. Like I said, I would rather find a Lillipup because those actually are decently strong. A lot of the first area Pokemon are not very tough, so losing one at this stage is just annoying because I haven't even gotten to the first gym yet, but and that battle just caught me by surprise, but it's fine. Just gotta update my death counter. Alright, death counter. 1. Great. Go us. I don't mind having it, I honestly don't mind having a death that early on. The first few route encounters are pretty weak and pathetic anyway, so they're not like you're, oh no, I lost great type coverage. It's a cat rat. It's going to evolve into Watchog, which can be a good HM slave, but it's not really a very useful Pokemon in it by any means. I'm going to, fight some wilds though real fast here to see that I get Angelica to level up a few times to hopefully maybe learn another move. I'd like to get her to maybe level 6 or 7 would be nice. We're gonna do a couple of wild encounters here. Try and get her to level up. Anyway, that's the name of the game in Nuzlocke, you know. Things die that fast. Again, if I was playing a little bit more cautiously, and I was like, hey, in most Pokemon games, they tend to hit you with a rival battle before you arrive at the first city, then I probably could have not run into that problem. But, unfortunately, I didn't. Or, if Eliza didn't have a down speed nature, she probably could have outsped that Lillipup, but because she did have a down speed nature, she was too slow. And so she got attacked first. So, lots of things could have gone into that to prevent that particular death, but whatever. Pearline isn't a particularly great Pokemon either, but it is at least a dark type, which does give you some advantages against like psychic types, which are typically very annoying to deal with. So, I mean, that's something. I could do a fast forward button on this. The problem is I'm not sure my computer would handle it. I'm pretty sure my, it would just make the gameplay from you guys' side just chug really terribly. Especially when I got all these programs open and trying to do it at the same time. So we're just gonna go at normal speed and just, try and go quickly. So anyway, how's everyone's day going so far? Any fun things happen today? I did actually, in fact, get a good amount done. After last night when we were busy doing the dailies and stuff for Genshin Impact and Star Rail, I did actually decide to go and make some progress again on Star Rail, so I went in, you know, right now I'm recording my other account. I won't be doing that one in stream, I'll just be recording it and then I'll later edit it for YouTube. In order to do that, I'm recording it essentially on the PS5, so it has a clean audio recording. That way, like, if I want to do a voiceover later, I can, but that way, the audio clips are clean, and I don't have to, like, when I record it on stream, it records my audio in addition to the game audio, and you can't, like, do that I mean, you might be able to do that in separate tracks, but I don't know how to do audio things, so I don't know how to do that. So I'm just, the reason I'm doing my Genshin replay through my free-to-play account, or whatever you want to call it, is so that I can have clean audio on those clips. So I've actually been re-recording them on my PS5, because it turns out you can record on your PS5, just it has to be under an hour, which is actually a pretty good way to stop and start, and so I just will go and... Thanks, critical hit. Appreciate it, bro. Well, I guess bro, because you're a bro. It's fine. And so I did actually do some serious commitment towards getting closer on my Genshin thing. And so what I've been doing is I've been recording about an hour's worth of gameplay content, and then I go and like I'll do like an audio log myself of my opinions, my thoughts of the gameplay, with the idea of compiling this all into a video eventually to give my whole like review of at least the first region of Genshin, to then compare to the first area of Star Rail eventually when I restart that game. I will be playing my new game of Star Rail on stream, I think. I haven't decided yet, but most likely. If people are interested in watching it, at least. If no one's interested in watching it, then obviously I'll just do it like normal, like I'm doing with Genshin. But the idea is I'm trying to catch up with, play through all the game stuff before the first boss in Genshin, because Madeline's like, you should go and beat the dragon finally. I'm like, yeah, I know. But I don't really remember why I'm fighting it, so I'm going back through to, like, you know, refresh myself in the story and stuff like that. And it was nice. It was pretty productive. Again, it's like one of those things, like, this isn't necessarily a bad game, it's just not necessarily good at this point either. Well, it's good, it's just not great. Okay, let's see. I had to miss work to take my dad to a doctor's appointment that was out of town, and then we went shopping. I just got home and I'm exhausted. We should have done this when I was off and not when I'm back working. Yeah. We feel the same. I mean, to be fair, we didn't even feel like we had a break because we were so busy prepping for our market. That, like, for the majority of our, like, winter break, I was, crocheting, Malin was making paintings, like, it didn't even feel really like we had a break because we were working so much. So, we get you. Thank you for coming by and attending the stream, even though you're exhausted. Appreciate it. Okay, so you did way more damage than I did to you, so, let's switch out to Hamilton again. I'd like to get Angelica to, like, probably level 7 before we keep pressing on to the next area. So we can't quite face the first gym leader yet. I have to go and do a few story things first. But, I want to at least get her to level 7 so I have, like, someone who could arguably fight something. Even though, again, Prolank's not a really great Pokemon, but, it is a dark type, so I guess that's worth something. Okay, I'm going to be fighting, you know, Psychic types this early in the game. She learned Assist, which is not a particularly useful move, but, there are worse things. Considering that most of the, moves I know right now are not attack moves, so odds are if I use Assist, she end up pulling one of Hamilton's more useless moves, but I would like a dark move, that'd be nice. So I get that same type of attack bonus. Those who may or may not know, I will learn you something today if you're not as well known as Pokemon. I remember I had to teach, we nannied a kid like last year. And by we, I mean my sister did, but whenever she was out, she like had to leave for Japan for like a little while. I watched over her kid for her. He was nice pay too. But he was really into Pokemon, so I taught him how to play Pokemon, and the funny thing is that he can play Pokemon, but he can't read. So, like, I had to teach him, like, explaining what the things did, and, like, you know, what colors meant which types, so that he can, like, learn how to do it. I was teaching him, like, the type chart, and I, like, taught him, like, oh yeah, so when a Pokemon has the same type as an attack it uses, it gets a slight boost. You know, the same type attack bonus. These are things I certainly didn't know when I was first playing Pokemon. There's amazing how many things they don't teach you in Pokemon games, like through a tutorial or anything like that, you just kind of figure them out over time. So, like, in this case, like, Hamilton, technically speaking, will be stronger when he uses a fire move, but considering he has a lower special attack than he has a regular attack, it often is better for him just to use Tackle, because that uses his physical attack, which is a bit stronger. Because he's a jolly little boy. I mean, Tepig is cute. I'm not a huge fan of the evolutions of any of the Unova starters. Like, Dewat's pretty cool, but, like, otherwise, I'm not a huge fan of Servine, or Samurott, or Pignite, or Emvor. Superior's fine, but none of them are terribly interesting to me, so I'm kind of like, Fire type, that'll probably be useful. How much more does she need to level up? 60 more, okay. Well, I'm gonna run back to heal then. Anyway, so I have been working a little bit outside of this. That's why I didn't do an early morning stream today, because I considered doing it, but I'm like, I actually was feeling in rather high spirits. So I'm like, I'm gonna go and play Genshin for a little bit, and then I think the biggest thing was it wasn't just playing it, it was also like getting all my thoughts out on a recording afterwards. Like, you know, taking notes, and it kind of helped me like work through some of my thoughts and feelings. So I actually felt pretty accomplished at the end of it all. And then once I catch up to where I am in the story in my main account, then I'll play it on stream. For everyone else to watch. So I agree with Madeline. I know it's been a very long time since I started. I should honestly just beat the first boss and move on and get into the next area of the game, but I'm not felt like it. Okay, I'm 2 levels higher. I should hypothetically be strong enough to defeat you on my own. So that does barely any damage, and I just got my defense dropped, so I'm going to switch out to Hamilton. Be careful. Because, especially when you're in low levels like this, even just a single stat drop can really spell trouble if you're not careful. Like, that's how I lost a lot of Pokemon the first time I played this game, was I ran into a lot of things that had Leer, and a lot of things that had Bide. And those can just hit with so much power in the early game that you just, like, without any, like, type resistances, you just can't survive them. Like, that is definitely how I lost my starter, in my first white Nuzlocke was, I got hit by Bide. Bide does, you take, however much damage the user takes in 2 turns, and then it, like, doubles it on the 3rd turn, which means that if you don't defeat a Pokemon that has used Bide, before it unleashes the attack, it will do a butt-ton of damage to your Pokemon and probably kill them even if they have resistances. I lost my Oshawott Armin this way, I lost a Purloin this way, I lost even a Rock'n'Rolla, which is a rock type, through Bide. Like, I lost a lot of Pokemon to Bide in that playthrough. So I'm gonna be going through a little bit more cautious this time. Let's see what else. I got a nanny tomorrow, so I'll probably stream in the evening again. We'll work on some different projects here and there, like instead of streaming today, I spent a lot of time getting this overlay working. So I appreciate that, your kind comments about the overlay, I really appreciate it. Again, I'm not really great with using Streamlabs. It's a little confusing to me. Its setup is very different from we use Prism Studios normally, which I kind of prefer. I just like the layout of that one a little bit better. It's a little bit easier to see the screen when you're sitting, like, you know, 3 feet away from the monitor. But, we're gonna risk another attack. Well, that kinda hurt. Let's see, I took 7 damage from that, so I probably could take another hit. 15 to... Should be able to hit again. Yeah. Good job, critical hit. Good job, Angelica. Now you're level 7. Yay! Which is good enough for me. And we're moving on. Try not to stay grinding in any one particular area for too long, because I know that's not very fun to watch. Anyway, so... Anyone else got any interesting life stories? This is why I really wish I had Malin here to come and tell her, like, preschool horror stories. There's not any particular horror story yet, because we're like 3 days into the school year. I now work at the preschool on Mondays. besides the nannying I normally do on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So, you know, every little bit counts. But, Mine always has interesting stories about kids. I'm also up to if anyone wants to speak in the chat or has any topics of discussion they would like to add. I'm open to it. Oh, and I have to go around in order to get there. There's a Pokeball back there and I want it. Okay, and I can't get into the Striaton Gym until I go and do a, I think I have to go to the Dream Yard first. Well, it doesn't have to be anything interesting that happened to you, just like if there's anything you want to talk about and do, like, any interesting topics to talk about. Ooh, I got Dusk Ball, and my name is Dusk. So, it's, you know, it's like if anyone wants to talk about any movies or stuff like that, I'm pretty sure this is, yeah, it's the Dream Yard. I have to go get, Striaton Gym is an interesting idea, because, okay, yeah, I guess I have to battle you, because there's 3 gym leaders actually that run the Striaton Gym, and the one that you face will be the one that has the type advantage against your starter type, so you have to come here to the Dream Yard in order to get, a Pokemon that is strong against your type weakness. I have a feeling that you're just going to kill mine, so I'm going to switch to Hamilton. There's not a lot of strategy really to be had in the early game when all you're doing is scratching and tackling the heck out of each other, and it's really whose bag of hit points that gets used up faster. Like in my case, mine's a little cookie, so he will run out of hit points a lot slower. Of course, you had to survive by like 1 HP. There are another rules sometimes people do when they're doing like a hardcore Nuzlocke is they'll do like they put what they call set. So like you see how in every time a Pokemon switches out, I have an option of switching my Pokemon out as well. Like in a set battle format, you actually don't have the option to switch. You just have to roll with it, you know. So whoever you have out, you don't have any clean switches unless like Pokemon faints, and obviously you don't want the Nuzlocke. But it does add a definite layer of difficulty. My Monolock or Type Lock I did in Shield, which was all poison types. I did with the set difficulty, and I also did it with a party cap, so I can only use the amount of Pokemon that like the gym leader had. And like, you know, I didn't have any easy switch-ins. It does add a considerable amount of challenge to the game. But then again, Sword and Shield is a pretty easy game to begin with, so it's not something that I was actually too bothered by. Okay, how am I looking? I think Hamilton's fine, I can keep pushing. I always love the youngsters that are like, I'm gonna be a gym leader one day. I'm like, yet you're stuck on Route 2 with Singular Pat Rat. I don't think you're getting very far in life, buddy. And just wait until Hamilton learns a fighting type move. Then he's gonna be really cooking. All these early normal types. Although I do think I like Tefig in its base form better than like the other two, because he is looking like he looks very plushy for the good news, as much as a bite is kind of an annoying move to get hit by because sometimes it will flinch you, it doesn't have the same type of attack bonus, so it actually hits a little less strongly, then, like, attack a little bit. Get through this and hopefully be able to just sweep this guy. Oh man, critical hit, that's not fine. Okay, we're gonna try and hit here and hopefully we should be able to, we did hit first last time, so we should be able to just knock this guy out. Okay, well that's a little close for comfort. So we are now gonna run full speed back to the Pokemon Center. This is way too early in the run to be losing my starter. But see, that's what I mean about those critical hits. I don't know how the critical hits are calculated in this game. In some games, their critical hits are calculated like 2 times damage, sometimes it's 3 times damage, sometimes it's 1.5 damage. It really just depends on the generation, but the point is that it's usually double the damage of the normal attack, which means that, like, even the best laid strategies, you might be like, oh, I can survive that, oh, I can take a risk here, and then you get hit by a critical hit and it just kills you, and you're like, oh, well, Hamilton, like, almost died there because of a critical hit. And that's just the way Nuzlockes go, that's the hard part about them. So now I get Pansage. What should I name him? What do you think, Ixie? What should I name my Pansage? It is a boy. Pansage have like a little leaf on their head. I have to admit, out of the 3 monkeys, I think Pansear would be my favorite because I did make a Pansear character a long time ago. But you know, Pansage is cool. I actually have this friend of mine on DeviantArt who really loves the elemental monkeys. So she has a lot of characters that are like based off of like the 3 of them. So like her Pansage character, I believe, is named what is his name? I know she has Rainy, which is her Panpour. She has Kiwan, which is her Pansear. And then her Pansage, gosh, what is his name? I can't remember it now, I'm thinking about it. What was it? Now I'm thinking about it, I can't remember it. What was it? Oh, actually, now that I think about it, Matcha was actually the name of her female Snivy, actually. But I can name him Matcha. That's fine. It's green themed. When I started this run, I wasn't sure that I was going to have like some sort of naming convention. Like when I did my Poison Nuzlocke, I named them all after Star Rail characters. And then, let's see. As you are the only one in chat, it means that you get to name things. Well, I mean the only one who's, everyone, I know there are quite a few viewers right now, but just, when I go back, let's see what, nature he has. Nice thing is that he's level 10. So brave nature. That's pretty cool. Okay, high attack, low speed, that's actually entirely fine. The pressure is on, yeah. If someone else shows up in chat, then you'll have to compete. You'll have to try and kill each other. Yeah. When in doubt, when I name Pokemon, I name them after game characters usually. So then, like, you know, when I did like my one that was based off of Star Rail, so I named them all after Mild. Of course, low defense. Yeah. That's like the worst possible nature is low defense, and you don't even need special attack. But, okay, so now we got Pansage. That's cool. Now we're ready to go take on the gym. So I'll usually name them after characters. So, like, my first instinct when we started this playthrough was to name them after, Genshin Impact characters. But I thought that might be a little cringy. So I decided not to. So my next thing was that I was either going to name him, like, Hamlet or, like, Bacon. But then I'm like, oh, I'll name him Hamilton. That sounds kind of dignified. So we can't get into the Dream Yard yet, so we can't get our encounter here. Because Pansage is a gift Pokemon. So I don't count that as the encounter for this area. I don't, until we can get past that cut area. Can't do it, so. Usually if I name something, I'll name them after video games. I don't generally come up, I don't think there's any such thing as dumb names necessarily. But I don't generally name things joke names. That's something like the Malin does. She says that I'm always kind of pretentious when I name Pokemon. I have to give them like real names, I give them personalities and stuff, and she'll be the one that'll be like, her Cinder Ace in her first playthrough of Sword and Shield was Smug Sketty. So that says something in and of itself. But hey, name them whatever you want to name them, you know? So okay, trainer school. Where's the trainer school? I think it's right here. Yeah, so we gotta find the gym leader. I like how it always seems to be the first gym's, like, leader is never where they're supposed to be. Hey Sharon, I'm assuming we have to fight you in a Pokemon battle, right? See, at least you asked me to battle. Bianca just ran up to me and killed my pet rat, so I at least respect you a little bit more as a friend right now, because at least you are battling with me and asking me first as I'm ready. Bianca just ran up and was like, hey, you look tired and vulnerable. Let me kill your guy. I was like, no, please. So we're gonna switch out to our new Pansage. Have the type advantage here. So at this point, Oshawott should know water moves, so we don't want to be using Hamilton. Nice. That's good damage. Guessing it has a berry. Yeah, you're telling me, Sharon. It's only thanks to me having the Pokemon variant of autism that I'm actually able to remember, like, almost all the facts about Pokemon. Just off the top of my head. Like, even when I forget things, like, the knowledge is still there. I just have to, like, tap into it. But it's like, I know so much about Pokemon. I'm like, man, I could have had, like, the math genius version of autism. Instead, I'm like, no, I'm the, loves Pokemon version of autism. Or, like, video games in general. I'd say my hyperfixations do generally revolve around video games, but I'm also, to be fair, I'm also very good at crafting, so, you know, like, I got my own special talents and stuff like that. Okay. Take out your Purloin. Alright, great job. That's my big boy. We're gonna hold on to Odor Sleuth for right now because that might be useful later on, when he becomes a fighting type to hit ghosts. Not sure that I will actually use it or not, but it's a Nuzlocke. Sometimes you gotta use the trickiest of tricks in order to get through things. Hey, orange berries. I always thought it was an interesting distinction that, like, natural items like berries and juices, like a Pokemon can, use in battle, but, like, man-made items like potions and revives and stuff like that, Pokemons obviously don't know how to use because like they don't have thumbs. At least most of them don't have thumbs. So like, it does make sense that like there's only certain items they can use. I think we will put a I think to be cautious. He gave us 3 Oran berries, so we are going. I think we're going to put a Oran berry on Matcha to be careful. Then put an orange berry on Hamilton. Because if Angelica's in trouble, I'll just switch out to another Pokemon. But if one of them are in trouble, it might be helpful for them to heal themselves in battle. Here he is. Silent. Like I said, it's pretty cool that this gym is actually like it rotates depending on which type you got. The cool thing is it's actually a tea house. That's like the random guy who just gives you a bottle of water when you enter a gym for the first time. That's just funny. In this case, in order to open the curtain, you have to hit the type that's effective against the one on the curtain. I like it. This is like a little tea house, and the idea is that so the gym leaders have 3 types. They cover water, fire, and grass, which are the 3 starter types. So I like the fact that the 3 of them have like different specialties to make tea. So like the grass type one has the tea leaves, the water type one is the tea water, and then fire type one is the one who heats it up. Like, that's a cool little thing. I always like gym leaders to have a thing. Because, like, the gym leaders all have, like, you know, the specialty types and whatnot. But I like when they have, like, something kind of cool like that that's like, oh, they have a theme. That's fun. Again, I wish I found a Lillipup because they are pretty strong. Hopefully I'll find one in a later route because they are a really good Pokemon. They, can be pretty sturdy in a pinch. They're pretty good attackers and, they have decent bulk. For an early game Pokemon, they are a pretty good one to have. To the gym. An interesting thing they have in like the Galar region is that like because the gyms are all one big challenge, like you actually can't run in and out of them at any given time to change the challenge to like heal up, so it's a little bit more tense. You have to build things on the fly with your items. I like to imagine this is actually like an actual tea house where people are having like food while they're watching me just duke it out with my Pokemon in the middle of the room. Like how Angelica is literally just in the front just so she can keep gaining experience, but she's really not doing a whole lot yet. She can't really do a whole lot though until she like gets a dark move though. So it's kind of like, eh. We'll keep leveling you up because you need to keep leveling up, but you know. There's the dangerous move right there, Bide. If he had used that earlier, I probably would have been in a lot more trouble. Stay in. Glad it's using Vibe now and it's easy to beat. And Vibe can be very, very dangerous if you're not careful. It's a very good early game killer. Kind of like running into something like Dragon Rage or Sonic Boom that does a set amount of damage. Like, Dragon Rage does a set amount of 40 damage, so I remember I did a randomizer once, which is where, like, the Pokemon you run into are randomized. And I got an early game Nidorina that had, a Nidoran at least, that had Dragon Rage as a move, and I just swept everything because nothing that early in the game has 40 HP. So you can just like kill everything instantly with it, but the same thing with a move like Sonic Boom. It automatically does 20 HP every time, so it can cut through your Pokemon pretty quickly when everything had like only like 30 HP at best in the early game. My randomizers can be kind of dangerous. Because the original version of the game, things are relatively balanced, but then when you put randomizers into it, things can get pretty complicated. We did originally do a randomizer Nuzlocke in the Emerald version, and really the reason we stopped playing it was kind of just because we just didn't care for Emerald as a region. We're just like, oh, okay, that's fine. Like, just doing the Gen 3 before the Specialist Physical split, like the sprites, a bit different, like, games are just older. It wasn't much fun. So the cool thing is that you will face the gym leader here depending on which one is strongest against the starter you currently have. I think it's pretty cool. Nice degree of variability. So we have chili, cress, like watercress, cilantro. But I like also you can even tell when you're just talking to them, they have like very distinct personalities. Like Silent is a little shy, Chili is very like gung-ho, excitable energy, a little aggressive, and then Cress is very polite. I think that's pretty cool. Silent also was a companion character in the Black and White anime. He was kind of the replacement for Brock. Like, well, luck for you, get to battle the best among the three of us. Like that. Okay, fingers crossed to get through this death list. That would be really nice. Oh great, it's level 12. That is worrying. Okay, then I'm gonna just do this and then switch out. Give Hamilton a little easier time coming in. And it's going to use work up to raise his attack, so are we going to have like a work up growl off here? Because it's trying to raise his attack and I'm just lowering its attack? It would be funny if you just keep like, going back and forth like this. Which one of us will run out of uses first? The work up or growl? assist and see what it does. At this point, its special attack is pretty high, but it doesn't have any special attack moves, so it's not going to be able to use that really. Oh, I used Ember, that's fun. Wait, I don't want this thing stacking on me. Well, that's unfortunate. I flinched and got hit by a crit. So hopefully, I'm going to switch Hamilton in and hopefully he'll be fine. It should still only be attacking with basic attack because it did work up twice, but its attack stat was already lowered, so it shouldn't be using like any. It shouldn't be very strong at the moment. So we should still be able to do some damage here. Okay, enough of the critical hits. Thank you very much. Thought I put that berry on him at least. And of course it has pickup. Well, you're just a pain in the butt. On the plus side... Oh, come on, dude. Going to use the fresh water this guy just gave me. Funny thing, I haven't even gotten to his ace Pokemon. I'm just dealing with this darn Lillipup in the front. It'd be nice if I had a Lillipup. Whatever. Good job, Hamilton. Way to tough it out, though. Switching into Matcha. And of course it's higher level than me. Alright. Awesome. Hoping for the best. That's going to become problematic, so we're going to try and hit it hard. Hopefully it won't hurt too much. Okay, half damage, that's not too bad. Matcha is, yeah. Matcha is holding a berry, so if he gets too low on HP, he can heal himself. So, biggest issue is just that he's faster than me. Get that berry. Get a little more HP back. Alright. Good job. Despite Angelica's best efforts, we came through that boss fight deathless. Nice. Yeah, we got our first badge. Let me go put it on our stream. a badge from Chris. Let's get the TM workup. So the cool thing that it did introduce in Unova that I honestly think they should have in every game is that TMs can be used as many times as you want. I think the Galar system did the best job of having TMs and TRs. So some like items were some TMs could be used infinitely, but some had to be used like a single time. I thought it was pretty smart. So we're gonna so I was like, is there anyone who can use this? Monch can learn it. Too bad Hamilton can't. He could really make use of that. I'm actually not going to teach him that for now. Because I actually rather have Lear for right now, because a defense lowering move can be useful. So we're going to save real fast. We're going to go heal up. And here, we now have... Here we go, our first badge. Sorry, it does that weird like transition between every time I change something on the screen. I haven't figured out how to not do that yet, because I'm still figuring out how to use Streamlabs. So. Here's the person the professor told us about, Fennel. You hear a train ringing, that's my alarm. You just put that. It reminds me to take medicine before I go to bed. Let's just put this for okay. She's a friend from college with Professor Juniper. I get the HMO1 cut. I can teach them cut. We'll probably teach that to Angelica. The biggest issue with HMs is that you can't... I don't know why HMs are hard to forget. I'm not saying that like I don't like HM moves, some of them are useful. It's more just like... So here's the interesting, this is where you have the game sim option. So there was like a whole Dream World side game for the DS way back when. You know, when they had like online chat things or Dream Radar and junk. So there's a whole like dream system thing. I don't believe it's up anymore because the eShop is down, but it was an interesting concept. That was where you got like the terrarium forms of the genie Pokemon. Never used it myself, but I don't think many people did. Awesome. So we're gonna teach, we'll teach Cut to Angelica. Like she has a lot of moves right now anyway. And so here's our final tally so far. We have Angelica, Hamilton, and Matcha. I'm going to switch out Matcha, Angelica. Actually, maybe I think I'll leave her there until she's level 10. Then I'll switch them around. We're going to save here, and then this is where we're going to end for tonight. As we've gone through the first gym, which was about where I wanted. So, unfortunately, have already had one death, but I kind of was expecting that to happen. A lot of the early game Pokemon are not very strong, and sometimes it just takes one unlucky crit hit. And Hamilton had a couple of close calls, but thankfully he's fine. So that's where we're going to stop for right now. Pretty good progress today. I think I will continue this either on Thursday or potentially on Saturday. It depends how awake and aware I am. This is definitely not a game I want to play while I'm sleepy, so we'll see. And also I still want to do maybe another crochet stream this week. So we'll just wait and see on that one. Just keep an eye, make sure you're following the channel so you get notifications when I go live on Twitch. For those who watch on YouTube, I will have to upload this manually onto YouTube because it doesn't record there, but I will do that so that you can, if you like re-watch these on YouTube, you will have that option. And then just thanks for everyone who was able to come by and hang out. Again, when I'm playing video games like this, I'm not quite as over the top chatty because I am trying to focus on what I'm playing. But I hope you enjoyed it anyway. So slow but steady progress is being made. Things will start speeding up a little bit more as we get into the higher levels and harder stuff. So everyone has enjoyed it, and that's where we're going to leave you all tonight. And I bid you all good night. See you all tomorrow at some point.